So the purpose of this video, which is also an audio that I'm recording inside Clubhouse on my phone at the same time, is to give you clarity about how I have built my business to 6 figures without spending any money on ads. When I first started my hypnosis business, I knew I was going to have to get bold about putting myself out into the world if I wanted anybody to actually pay attention to me and to the way that I could help them build, help them find healing through hypnosis. So I'm a professional hypnotist, and I wanted to help other people learn the incredible gifts that I had received through hypnosis and utilize them for themselves. And I thought, how am I going to find people that actually want to learn this from me, or that actually want to do hypnosis sessions with me? And I had been listening to podcasts for several years from people like Pat Flynn, who has a podcast called The Smart Passive Income, and Amy Porterfield, who has a podcast called Digital Marketing Made Easy. And I knew, like deep down, I knew that I was going to have to learn marketing if I was going to do this. And that word, like still today, when I say that word marketing, it kind of gets stuck in my throat. Like it feels like such a yucky word to me. And I think it feels like such a yucky word to so many people in this industry, because we're here to help people. We want to love on people. We want to equip them to heal. And like that idea of marketing feels really yucky. So after trying to do this, just by being open-hearted and by doing my best to attract people to me, and having almost no success and being completely out of money, I grudgingly made the decision to spend as much time understanding marketing as I did to understanding how to be a good hypnotist. And one of my favorite things about that decision is, even though it was hard at first, and even though I didn't want to, is that the more I learned about becoming a good marketer, the more I understood about being a good hypnotist. And the more I understood about being a good hypnotist, the more I understood about being a good marketer. And here's the bottom line before I jump in and tell you how I've utilized this information to build my business without spending money on ads. When you are going to guide someone to freedom in hypnosis, it is vital, it is imperative that they get crystal clear about the problem that they want to solve during that session. And to do that, they have to think about a moment in their life when that problem has been a problem. It could be the most recent time it bothered them. It could be a time from the past that seems like the worst time that it bothered them. But they must go into or think about one specific moment when it's been a problem. So if a person comes to you for hypnosis to stop anxiety. Anxiety is the problem, but in order to specify to the unconscious mind, to the part of that person that knows how to generate healing on their behalf, in order to help the unconscious mind understand what they're ready to heal, you have to show them a specific moment in time when they struggled with that. So for a person with an anxiety, you might say, okay, when's the last time specifically that you struggled with anxiety? And they might say, well, it was on the way here when I merged onto the highway to come here, which I know most of us do hypnosis over Zoom, but we're going to pretend this is an in-person session. I merged on the highway and my heart was pounding, and I was white knuckling the steering wheel, and I was so afraid to get on the highway because I was thinking, what if I get in an accident? Or if it's a person who struggles with smoking, you might say, okay, when's the last time that you went out to have a cigarette? And they might say, it was just before I got here and I knew that I was not going to smoke anymore. So I lit up a cigarette outside the building before I came in. Or you might say, when is smoking a problem? And they say, well, I'm out to dinner with my family and I just want to sit there and enjoy their time, but I'm craving a cigarette. So I have to get up from the table, go stand in the snow to smoke my cigarette, and I'm sick of it. When you are marketing, when you are helping people understand that you can help them, it is equally important that you bring to life a specific situation where the problem is a problem. So if you can help people with anxiety and you just say, I use hypnosis to help people with anxiety, to help people find freedom from anxiety. People with anxiety aren't going to tune in. They aren't going to lean in and pay attention to what you're saying. But when you say, You know that feeling when you're merging on the highway and your heart is pounding because the traffic is going so fast and you're thinking, what if I get in an accident? And your heart is pounding, your breathing increase, you start breathing more rapidly and you're white knuckling the steering wheel. All of a sudden people start to pay attention and lean in when you talk to them in that way. Equally important during a hypnosis session, if a person wants to guide someone to freedom, they have to get really specific about what that person wants to experience instead of craving cigarettes, instead of freaking out when they get on the highway, instead of mindlessly snacking all day and not being able to fit into their clothes. And this is the hardest part of any hypnosis session. Because so often when people come to a hypnotist, it's funny, I'm kind of going on a side trail. This isn't what I was planning to talk about. So this is laying a really strong foundation for the awesomeness that's about to come. When a person is struggling with their problem, they're just trying to figure out how to stop having the problem. They're resisting that problem and they're thinking, oh, if only I could get rid of this problem, this problem, this problem. They're focusing on the problem, and that actually drives the unconscious mind, the part of us that's responsible for keeping that problem in place. It actually tunes the unconscious mind to keep the problem in place. Have you heard the saying, what you resist persists? The solution then is to guide them to take their eyes off the problem and start to look at the solution. And so often when a person asks in a hypnosis session, okay, what do you want? Like so you have anxiety now, what do you want to experience? What do you want the outcome of this session to be? 9 times out of 10, they're going to say, well, I don't want to freak out when I get on the highway anymore. I don't want to feel anxious. I don't want to have that feeling in my chest. I don't want to have that tension in my body. I don't want to snap at my kids because I'm so stressed out and high strung. So everything that they're talking about with their words, they are making a picture of the exact thing they don't want. And Freddie Jacquin teaches that the only place that the idea of do not exists is in language. It doesn't exist in the universe. Our unconscious mind doesn't understand this do not. So when we talk about what we do not want to have, and we use words to describe the thing we don't want to have, we actually create pictures and images for the unconscious mind, which is the nonverbal part of us. It doesn't respond to words, it responds to the images we make with our words and our imaginations, and actually drives us toward that thing. So I'm going to demonstrate this for the people watching the video on YouTube, and I'm going to walk you through it for the people here on Clubhouse. The best way to help a person step out of that and start to focus on what they want instead is to hold your hands out in front of you. And so if they say, I don't want to feel this panicked feeling anymore, you would hold your hands out and say, okay, when this panicked feeling, as if you're holding the panicked feeling out in front of you, when this panicked feeling is a thing of the past, and I just whooshed that panic feeling out into the direction of the past, which my video flips, so it's going to look like I'm flipping it into the future if you imagine the future being to the right. When this feeling is a thing of the past, and then you hold your hands out in front of you and you have now these empty hands and you say, what will be there in its place? So again, when that panicked feeling, or when that, whatever words they use to describe what they don't want, you say, okay, when that thing is a thing of the past, what will be there in its place? And you're going to notice them, their eyes are going to shift. They're going to start to look around and they're going to say, oh, I never really thought about that. I don't know. And this is the moment. Like, this is the catalyst for change, because by simply starting to think about where they want to be instead of where they are, they start to create pictures for the unconscious mind, for that nonverbal part of them that's responsible for their automatic reactions and their automatic behaviors. And if they weren't automatic, they wouldn't need to come to see us for help. If they could stop it consciously, they wouldn't need to come see us. And when they start making pictures of what they want, everything changes. So when it comes to marketing and when it comes to helping people understand what you do and how you can help them, telling them, okay, this is the specific way that the problem shows up in your life at this specific time. And this is how that time is going to change. So you could say, imagine Imagine merging onto the highway and feeling calm and confident and safe, and knowing that you can trust your foot to push on the accelerator at the exact rate that's perfect for you. You can trust yourself to check your mirrors and blind spots and merge in at the rate that's perfect for you. And you arrive safely at your destination thinking, I did it. And now sometimes when I teach this, people resist because they say, okay, well, I want to reach people who have anxiety for other reasons. Like, I don't just want to reach people who have anxiety when they get on the highway. I want to reach people who have anxiety when they think about their kids, when they think about that job interview they have coming up, when they think about public speaking. And here's the thing. When we bring to life an experience of the problem, anyone who reads that post can relate. I'm sure when I would assume that when I talked about what it's like to freak out when you're merging onto a busy highway, you could all imagine that experience because I was bringing it to life with my words. And when you start to talk about specific situations where the problem is a problem, even people who don't struggle in that way recognize, okay, that's what anxiety feels like. That's what it feels like when I worry about my kids. And they become much more likely to realize that you're the kind of person that can help them. So the way I have built my business is without using money on ads is through social media, and specifically through Facebook. And there are lots of ways to do this. This is the way I've done it, and this is the way I know to do it. So this is the way I'm going to teach you today. And just so you know, here in Clubhouse, up at the top of the room, there's a link to a PDF that walks you through everything I'm about to tell you and gives it to you in clear, black and white, straightforward language. And if you're watching this on YouTube, there's a link below this video in the caption below this video to that same PDF. So you want to post as often on social media as possible. And I'm going to tell you the way 99.999% of people post on social media is not the way I'm asking you to post. I'm asking you to wrap your brain around a totally different way of posting. And one of the best ways, I think, to learn this is to model someone who's doing it. And so my students inside my Workshops That Work program, I'll direct them to come and look at the way that I have posted on social media, because this is something I've been practicing and learning and A/B testing for years, for about 5 years now. And I've learned some ways to post in a way that grabs people's attention, and specifically grabs the attention of the people who want to hear from you, the people who are looking for someone to help them with anxiety, the people who are looking for someone to help them stop smoking, who are looking for someone to help them with their weight, whatever it is that you want to help them with. When you post in the way I'm about to show you, it helps you attract those exact kind of people. And I'm going to talk to you about 5 different types of posts to make. Actually, that's a lie. I'm going to talk to you about 3 different types of posts to make. I'm trying to simplify this more and more. 3 different types of posts to make, and how often to make them, and how to put them on social media. Before I jump into that, I'm just going to say really quickly, and this is something I get huge resistance for, so I'm just going to touch on this and say, what if you get brave and try this out? And that is, I want you to know that when you post, I'm not going to ask you to post anything salesy. I'm not going to ask you to promote yourself. I'm not going to ask you to brag about yourself. I'm just going to ask you to start to connect with people in a way that helps them understand that you're here and that you can help. And I want you to know that if you do this from a business page inside Facebook, you're going to be really lucky if 1% of the people who follow you on this page actually see your post, unless you are paying to boost them. And as I have shared, I haven't paid to boost mine. I'm just now starting to play around with paying for Facebook ads. Caroline, who's here in this room, is helping me with this because she's been doing this on her own business page for quite some time. And so she's helping me. However, if you make your Facebook page public and you start to post in the way that I'm showing you on your public Facebook page, more like 5% of people are going to see your posts. And that seems really small. It seems really meager, and it is, but this is how the Facebook algorithm works. And I want you to know, if you've been posting on Facebook and nobody's paying attention, It's not because you suck. It's not because your message sucks. It's because you don't understand that Facebook algorithm and Facebook isn't showing people your posts. So I have about 5,000 friends on Facebook, and these are people, the people who are in my Facebook friend list are the kind of people that I want to reach with my message. And if I have a post that just gets tons and tons of attention, it's usually about 250 people will comment on that post. And that is like through the roof, super high. And the reason I tell you that is because this really is a numbers game. And the more people you get into that friends list, or the more people you have following you on your business page, the more people will see your post. But I promise you, not all of them, not even close to all of them will see it. So it's important to be posting frequently and be posting in a way that actually makes people want to pay attention to your posts. This is not by sharing memes. This is not by sharing other people's content. This is by making your own original posts that fall into the following 3 categories. So the first category is to build rapport. So rapport just means that people know, like, and trust you. And one of the best ways to do this, and this is what most of my posts are on my page. So if you go Facebook stalk me, and you can find me really easily. If you go to Lori, facebook.com/LORI. Now I don't know if there's a dot in the middle. Let me look really quick. So facebook.com/LORI.HAMMOND.39. You can see the way I do this. This is just like short little stories that say something like, oh man, I woke up this morning on the wrong side of the bed and I felt so grumpy. And then I looked outside and I just told myself, okay, find 3 things you can be grateful for right now. And I just named my wind chimes that are hanging in the front of my house, the evergreen tree across the street that dances for me sometimes, and what's one more thing? The fact that the wind is blowing and my wind chimes are chiming. Name 3 things that you can be grateful for right now underneath this post. And this does 2 things. Number 1, it invites people to get a glimpse into your life. It helps them realize that you're not perfect, that you haven't arrived. And so often we try to act like we've arrived and we try to act like we're perfect, and it actually turns people off. But when we show them, I feel just like you, and here's a way to feel better, it starts to build rapport. And then at the end, when you say, write 3 things you're grateful for, it helps people, like, people love talking about themselves. They love being asked about themselves. And when you ask that simple question, they're going to comment below. I want you to divorce yourself from the idea that likes mean anything. They mean nothing. What you want on your Facebook post is interaction. You want people to comment underneath your posts, because every time somebody comments on your post, the Facebook algorithm notices that that person is interested in your post, and they say, this person is going to stay on Facebook longer if we show them Lori Hammond's post, because when they read Lori Hammond's post, they stay on Facebook, and Facebook's goal is to keep people on Facebook. So your goal should be to get people to comment on your posts. So that number 1 type of post you should be making is rapport building posts, where you're just helping them get to know you a little better with short little stories that are not bragging about yourself, but are helping them understand, I know how you feel. I felt that way too. And I use this tool to step out of it, and you can do the same. Make them curious about you and be truly curious about them. And then when they comment on your posts, reply to their comments. You guys, can you imagine walking up to someone and shaking their hand and saying, hi, I'm Lori, nice to meet you. And they reply back to you, and you just turn around and walk away and don't say anything. This is what it's like when people comment on your posts on Facebook and you ignore them. There is no more valuable way that you can invest your time than by having conversations on Facebook. And I know that seems really strange, but if they're the kinds of conversations I'm asking you to make, it will build your business like nothing else. So I'm asking you to make about 40% of your posts be rapport building posts. So if you were to hypothetically post on Facebook 5 days a week, then and I want you to post on weekdays, because posts on weekends get far less attention. So if you were to post Monday through Friday, I want 2 of your posts to be rapport building, storytelling posts like I just mentioned. And again, you can go to my Facebook page and look at that. You can do this via written posts or video posts. If you are comfortable making video, I highly recommend doing some video posts. Do some of each, because video will build rapport faster than anything else. And some people won't watch video. Your video will get less engagement, but build more rapport. So make sure you're doing some written posts as well. And here's a side note. When you make those posts, it's called Facebook, you guys. And it's because Facebook wants to see faces on Facebook. So don't put up some cute picture. Don't put up some stock photo. Don't put up a meme with words. Put up a smiling selfie of yourself. And if you scroll through my page, you will see it's like the Lori Hammond show. And I know it's so obnoxious. And the reason I do it is because I know that my posts will go into people's news feeds if my smiling face is in that post. And that's going to build rapport more than anything else. When I first started looking for a hypnotist to help me, I couldn't find anyone that even had a picture of themselves on their website. And that's one of the biggest reasons I learned hypnosis, because I couldn't find anyone that I could trust, because they wouldn't let me know them. Like, they didn't give me an opportunity to know, like, and trust them, because they were hiding. And I'm asking you to stop hiding, if you are, and let people get to know you by posting your smiling face on your page along with rapport building posts. The second kind of post I'm asking you to make, and this really aligns closely with the first, is to deliver value and encourage people. And so this could be little posts that I'm just going to read what I wrote on this PDF. And again, this is the PDF that's linked at the top of this page. Or if you're on YouTube, at the bottom underneath this page, this video. I found the best way to do this in the most authentic way is to talk to people about how I'm struggling that day and give them tips for moving beyond that struggle. So this is kind of what I've outlined already. The bonus is that teaching a tip or technique makes me much more likely to actually do the thing I'm teaching. This is why I do not recommend waiting until you have arrived to help others. So you could give somebody a short little breathing technique. I often teach inside this room, I teach the physiological sigh, which I learned from Dr. Andrew Huberman. And I'm actually not going to teach it right now because I teach it so often. I would imagine all of you have heard me teach it before. But you could say, hey, like, do you freak out when you get on the highway? Next time you notice yourself white knuckling it as you drive, just try this little tip, and you could teach them the physiological sigh. Okay, I lied. I'm gonna walk you through it. So all you have to do, and you could do this in a video, this would be a really cool video post, is you take a deep inhale with your mouth closed. You take a deep inhale through the nose, and at the top of the inhale, you sip a little bit more air in through the nose, and then you let it out with a long sigh of relief. So it sounds like this. And that sigh you do through the open mouth. You let the air out through the mouth. And this literally offloads stress chemicals from the blood and puts you into a place of peace and calm. And when you're in a place of peace and calm, as you get on the highway, you're going to be so much better at merging into traffic safely than when you're freaking out. It actually makes you safer to calm yourself down first. And you can use this short little technique to do that. So this is a way for you to start to deliver value up front, to give on social media. I promise you, I promise you, there is no such thing as giving too much, especially if you're giving in short little snippets. That's making a person start to say, okay, Lori Hammond is the kind of person that I can trust to give me value. So when I offer something for them to pay for later, which I do in the form of group hypnosis sessions or different trainings, when I offer it, they trust me because I've shown up over and over. I've built rapport. I've given them value. I've helped them realize I know what it's like to struggle and how I've moved beyond it. And I've encouraged them, which is the next thing we're going to talk about. So do not be afraid of giving too much value. And when you deliver that value, keep your posts as short, sweet, and to the point as possible. So I do a program called the 3-day video challenge. This is one of the things that I sell people after I have given up front. And people love the 3-day video challenge. And the first thing I teach them is never start your video by introducing yourself. Don't, like, how you have like a couple of seconds to capture someone's attention. And if you start that video by saying, "Hi, I'm Lori Hammond, and today I'm going to teach you," they've already scrolled to the next video. But if you start your post, and I want you to start every post you make from now on, whether it's a written post or a video post, I want you to start every post from now on with a question or a story. And I don't mean say, "I have a question for you." And I don't mean say, "I'm going to tell you a story." Start right in with the question. So that example I just gave you, I said, have you ever tried, have you ever merged onto the highway and felt this panicky feeling in your chest? So immediately people are programmed to lean into questions and stories. And here's another place where hypnosis and marketing are aligned, because stories and questions are very hypnotic. A person immediately goes into a trance when you ask a question or tell a story. And so another way to do this would be to say, as I was walking down the street, I felt a gust of wind almost knock me off my feet. They're immediately going to lean in, and then you can tell the rest of the story from there. But that initial hook is very, very important. Okay, so the second kind of post is to deliver value and encourage people. So that encourage post, please don't share a meme. Please don't share a post that someone else put up to encourage. Write your own fresh post, because the Facebook algorithm does not show people memes or shared posts as often as you think. So it's much better to compose a fresh post that you have made yourself and just encourage someone. And again, that could happen in the form of a question or a story where you could say, "Oh, the other day I was feeling this certain negative way, and I noticed this certain positive thing that helped me feel better. And I just want to encourage you, like, if you're going through a hard time, things are going to get better. I see you. I'm grateful for you. Hang in there." And when people start to feel good in your presence when they're on social media, it's an absolute game changer, and it builds rapport like nothing else. So then later, when you make the third kind of post, which I'm about to tell you, they start to become willing to invest their time, their money, their resources to pick up what you're putting down and to utilize what you offer. So the third kind of post, again, that second post, deliver value and encourage, I want you to make those posts 40% of the time. So again, if you're posting 5 times a week, that should be the other 2 days a week. So 4 days a week, you are delivering the kinds of posts that build rapport, add massive value, give people tips that they can use to step out of yucky things and into yummy things, and to encourage them. So that's what you should be doing 4 out of 5 days a week. And then on the 5th day, and this is just a principle, if you don't post every single day, that's okay. The more often you post, the quicker you will build your business. The last kind of post I want you to make, and only 20% of the time, is to invite people into your email list. And the reason I want you to bring them into your email list is because your email list is your most important asset. And if you are trying to build a business, a 6-figure business or a business of any kind, and you don't have an email list, you are playing a losing game, to put it nicely. There are lots of different ways to do this. This is one of the things I teach in workshops at work, because the tech overwhelms people often, but you can figure this out. I mentioned a couple resources at the start of this call, Pat Flynn's Smart Passive Income and Amy Porterfield's Digital Marketing Made Easy. Amy Porterfield has a list building program that where she'll teach you how to do this. But if you need help understanding how to build your email list, I double dare you to get on Google and figure it out, because it's the most valuable thing you can do. But the way that I invite people into my email list, and here's where it will probably be most useful to go into my Facebook page and see how I make these kinds of posts, because I have spent a tremendous amount of time understanding the science behind sharing links with people without Facebook shutting me down. because when Facebook sees you put a link in your post, they know, okay, this link is going to take people off of Facebook. And what is Facebook's objective? To keep people on Facebook. So if you put a link inside your post, the odds of Facebook showing it to people go way down. And since you're already only reaching about 5% of your audience on your personal page and 1% of your audience on your business page, putting a link in the post makes it even less likely that you will reach people. So the way I recommend inviting people into your email list, if you're a hypnotist, or even if you're not a hypnotist, is to make it audio. So if you're not a hypnotist, it could be a guided meditation or just some kind of a rapport building recording that allows them to hear your voice and associate the sound of your voice with feeling good and with finding resources, so that in the future, when they struggle, they're going to come to you for help. So to record a hypnosis audio and give that away as what is called in the industry a lead magnet. So this is a gift that you give someone in exchange for their email address. So you can make a post that says, do you ever struggle? Like, do you ever find yourself freaking out when you get on the highway and your heart is pounding, you're white knuckling the steering wheel and you're freaking out? Write, and here's what I do. I tell people to write a specific word if they want the hypnosis audio. So I might say, write white knuckle if you want my hypnosis audio that shows you how to step out of panic and into calm in less than 30 seconds. And this could even be a little audio where you walk them through that physiological sigh. It could be something really simple like that. By doing it this way, what's going to happen is people are going to write that word underneath your post. And remember when I said a moment ago, when people write something underneath your post, the Facebook algorithm realizes this is like they're engaging with Lori. That means they want to see Lori's post. So the next time I put a post up, they are much more likely to see that post. Every time somebody writes on your post, it boosts the Facebook algorithm in your favor. And it's like a compliance set. So if you're a hypnotherapist, you know that when you put someone into a trance, you'll say, one of the ways to do this is to say, okay, close your eyes, relax your hands into your lap, and place your feet separated on the floor. You're telling them to do 3 things. And if they follow along with that, it sends a message to their unconscious mind that they are the kind of person who does what you ask them to do. So if you tell somebody, write this thing underneath the post, if you want my hypnosis audio, first of all, you're getting favorable Facebook algorithm juice. And second of all, they are telling their unconscious mind that they want to pay attention to you and that they want to do what you ask them to do. The third thing it does is it gives you an opportunity to start a conversation with them. So then you can go in and comment and say, hey, thanks for asking for my hypnosis audio. Here's a link where you can get immediate access. And when you share that link with them, you have already set up an automation that says when this person clicks this link, they go into my email address, and then you send them an email. And I know this is a lot of tech, but this is the best way I can serve you. This is how to do it. And if you go in, if you need help finding these resources, I say, ask the Google. You deliver that hypnosis audio to them. And every time you put up a post inside Facebook that invites people into your email list by giving them a lead magnet, which is a gift that you give someone in exchange for their email address, you build that list. And then the behind the scenes thing that happens is everybody inside your email list gets a short little email 1 time per week. And all that email does is what we talked about in the first 80% of how you should be posting on Facebook. It's the exact same way that you should be sending your emails. And that is building rapport, delivering value, and encouraging. So you're telling little stories and you're giving little tips and you're encouraging them to keep going. Most of my emails do all 3 of those things. And you can do that in a couple paragraphs. You can do that in a longer email. I will tell you that people are much more likely to read your email if it's short, sweet, and to the point. And a quick bonus is just if there's a picture inside your email. So whoever your email host is, if you put a little picture or a short little GIF inside your email, it will also skyrocket the odds of people continuing to open your emails. If you click on my lead magnet that is below this video or at the top of the page, if you're in Clubhouse, you will automatically be subscribed to my Sunday cheat sheets, which is my weekly email that I have set up just to deliver value. And you can model the way I'm doing it. You can pay attention to how I'm doing it and use what you like from me with your own audience. I'm really happy to have people share, like, anything that I do that resonates for you, I want you to share and use for yourself. Of course, you're going to personalize it and you're going to add your own flavor to it, but utilize the principles that I'm showing you because they really do work. They work amazingly well. Okay, I hope this has been valuable for you. This is the first time I've taught this in this way, and my goal again is to just get more and more succinct and clear about how I teach this. So if you have any questions, please email me at Lori, Lori, at trancypants.com, and let me know if there's anything that's unclear. Do not ask me to teach you how to set up your email, because that is, I have a $1,500 course called Workshops That Work, where I teach people all of this, and it's worth way more than $1,500, and I do not have the bandwidth to teach you. But Amy Porterfield has resources like this. Pat Flynn has resources like this. I'll be doing another Workshops That Work probably in September is roughly when I'm planning that. I'm not going to promise that. But you can figure this out, and it can be easy and enjoyable, especially if you use your hypnotic skills to tell yourself, I can do this and this can be fun. But if you have any questions about the specifics of this video, feel free to message me at Lori at trancypants.com. I will tell you that there's a really good chance that Caroline, who's here in this room with me, will be the one who answers your email, because she understands all this stuff really well, and she is helping me by fielding questions so that I can work on continuing to create awesome resources for you all. I hope you have enjoyed this. Thank you so much for being here. Have a beautiful day, my friends.